Gillette Stadium in Miami. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the LA Chargers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Devon Achane. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's now 4 tackles for loss if you add the 3 he had last week to the 1 here in the first quarter.
And some of it comes from vision. And when you're playing defensive end, especially with those teams that want to take their D-ends and move them out a little bit wider so they can see into the offensive backfield, they can see things develop, able to make plays, then they use their athletic ability to take over and spill them.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throw caught by Achane. And this effort won't do it. He needed to get to the 45. He's a yard or 2 short. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. He's going to have the hook up to Schwartz. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. So just shy of midfield. They tried it. Didn't work out. What did you think?
I thought that they should have punted the ball away. Should have gotten rid of it and played defense with better field position. Look, I'm as aggressive as anyone wanting to go for it on offense, but in this situation, it doesn't.
First half.
I don't know that there's any risk that may whistle the reward for the risk here. I would not have done that. My only explanation is this coach, he may want to be up here in the booth with us. We may have a 3-man booth starting next week if he keeps up with those decisions.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Ready.
Herbert off of play action. That's complete to his running back, Hampton. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
5-9. Set.
Play action. It's Herbert. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Now it's Herbert. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. Jalen Hyatt, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Chargers get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Here's Tua. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Tua to his Alabama teammate Waddle. First down, Miami.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
44. Ready.
Tua sets up to pass it. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second. Throwing on 2nd and long. Tua. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. When you talk about the defense for these Chargers, they come into this one way down at number 23 against the run of the NFL.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
So on 4th down, here's Jake Bailey to punt for the Dolphins. Lad McConkey deep for the Chargers. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces because they've got some new faces from a year ago. Add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
Herbert now. Now he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The sack there by Bradley Chubb. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That's to Amarian Hampton out of the backfield. They'll come to the line here, needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
It's now 3rd down and 9.
Back to throw here, Herbert. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
On 4th down, Herbert. Goes in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down.
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Los Angeles.
Hey, Ray.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Here's Herbert. They'll check this one down to Hampton. So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be 2nd down. This defense for the Dolphins, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Herbert throwing again. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. And no move to get Herbert off the field. They're going for this. Here we go on 4th. Herbert. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards, and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
Every play is supposed to get a player's best effort. But on 4th down, that really increases the stakes, doesn't it? What about that catch?
Heck of an effort picking up the first.
And now that team has to be motivated going forward. They just saw a great effort there. They want to make sure it pays off.
On the ground, this is Amarian Hampton. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
That's another Chargers first down. First and goal, Chargers.
Hampton. Touchdown, Chargers. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out, ready to send it away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
At their own 28-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. 23 yards on the play.
At the 49-yard line.
Now Tua. On this one, incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. The Dolphins in a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. That's caught by Waller out left side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Tua to throw again. Now he'll tuck this and run. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Looking to pass. Tua. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
Ready.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle from 13 yards out. And the Dolphins have got it back to within a score. Extra point and good by Sanders. And that'll make our score 14-7.
14. Dolphins 7. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2. And it's intercepted. And they'll have a short field to work with inside the 15 at the 13-yard line.
Intercepted. The Dolphins take over first and 10 at the 13-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on first and 10.
All right, come on. Hey.
Running left, Achane. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
At the 14-yard line.
Go ahead.
Two are going to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hill.
right, let's go.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6.
From the gun, it's Tua. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Darren Waller, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Dolphins are within an extra point of tying up this ball game.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And we are tied at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And this is going to be intercepted. Now Jones. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line.
Well, those have been a problem for him all season, but never quite as much as they have in these last few minutes. Let's count it up now. A pair of picks on his team's last 2 drives and double-digit interceptions this season. I don't care if you're the best in the game or an undrafted rookie. You've got to take better care of the football or you're going to cost your team chances.
And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning.
20, TX. Ready.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
You still hold your breath a little when Tua gets out of the pocket, but there he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he is caught. And he's out right at the 25. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
And that's a much-needed completion right there on 3rd down. Really a sigh of relief, isn't it? They're backed up deep. You know they don't want to give the ball back to the other guys at great field position. They needed that throw, that completion.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Sanders on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36.
At their own 36-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Here's 2nd and 10.
A shotgun snap for Herbert. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Let's go. 5-9.
Here's Herbert. He'll try and do this himself. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. On Herbert, his 3rd interception. Picked up by Micah Fitzpatrick. And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
After the turnover, it's Tua. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Here's Tua. Got a man. It's Darren Waller. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. The wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
You still hold your breath a little as a defense when Tua gets out of the pocket. You're worried about him scrambling and getting a 1st down. But there, he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. Then all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 61 yards. And the Dolphins will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Sanders now to add the extra point. And oh, it's blocked. It's picked up a live ball here, remember. And he gets it past the 30, but not much further than that. And the extra point attempt snuffed down.
I remember when they changed the rule, and there's a lot of consternation, especially coming from the kickers. Okay, how's this going to affect things, having to kick a longer one now? Much more of a field goal attempt. And the defensive guys saw it as an opportunity to get more block.
That's exactly right. There's more effort now. Before, when it was snapped down near the goal line, you would basically see guys just stand there.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, those guys are going after it because not only can they knock it away and change a little bit of momentum,
they get 2 points.
They can pick it up and take it back for 2 points.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Run, Baylor tight. Go.
Now Herbert with it, looking pass. He's got the tight end. That's Gadsden. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Herbert now. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 11-yard line.
Now it's Herbert. Throw over the middle, and it's caught by Johnston. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. The final shot before the break for Herbert. Open man, it's Johnston. Touchdown, Chargers.
Touchdown, LA.
A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chargers are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half.
Chargers 21.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
Ray.
A gain of 11 on the play. And the Chargers
Justin Herbert looking to pass. To the left side, he's got McConkey. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give him a short yardage situation here for second down. Play action. It's Herbert. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
From the gun, Herbert on third down. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Oronde Gadsden. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Chargers are an extra point away now from moving out in front. The extra point hits the left upright but goes through anyway. And that will put them on top here in the third.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43.
That strong return has set them up nicely for this drive, and we all know the next score is going to have a major impact on this game.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth, almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side, trying to match each other.
Now Tua. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Ready. Ready.
Now Achane on first and 10. Now he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
That one complete to Hill. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 24-yard line. Tua sets up to pass it.
This one thrown underneath to Achane.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, second and 2.
Brings up second and 2.
Looking to pass. Tua.
16-yard line.
On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And Tua going to slide to a halt, but he will have the first down. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
Now a first and 10 at the 11.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Open man is Hill. He's got it.
Now second and 9 from the 10.
A gain of a yard. Brings up second and 9 at the 10-yard line.
Tua going to throw. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
Odafe Oweh showing off the pass rush skills.
The downside for the defense is that they're dealing with a team that's in their red zone, but the upside, not much room to work with for the offense. Fewer windows in the zone for them to throw into. Tough for a quarterback to get a throw off before the pressure ends up getting to him.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So fourth down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit.
Sanders' kick is good.
And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play.
We'll get an update when we come back to Miami.
Jason Sanders.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away.
And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line of the end zone. So this ball will come out to the 30 now.
The Charger drive about to get going. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Back to throw here, Herbert.
Caught along the left side by Howard.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Charger first down. Herbert. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
Third quarter of a 2-point game, a good one so far. Here's 2nd and 10. Herbert going to give to Hampton.
And he's going to be met at about the 43. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 29-yard line.
3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
On first down, hits Hampton.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
From the 23, here's a 2nd down and 4. Here's Herbert. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Here's Herbert.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Jordan Brooks with it. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
After the turnover, it's Tua.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play.
It's a gain of 5.
And it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 5 at the 26-yard line.
22, out.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Open man, here's Schwartz, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Up the middle, Achane.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
2nd and 10.
Ready. 22, out.
Here's Tua.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes.
Logan Hall fighting through and dropping him for the sack. Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Taken in at the 22. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Looking to throw. Herbert. That is caught. And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Looking high its way once again.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the fourth quarter. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. He'll dump this off to Hampton, complete. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down, so that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Fires the out route and completes it to Harris.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness is a premium for all of that now.
And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line.
And now all of a sudden the shoe's kind of on the other foot. Maybe you pull the reins back here a bit?
Yeah, a little bit, because you got to make sure that you don't score too quickly.
First down, Los Angeles.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. A draw play, Hampton.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
A run once more with Hampton.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
A big play here as the crowd noise rises. 3rd and 1.
Defensively, maybe a little too fired up there for a 3rd down stop.
Remember in preseason when we were going to camps and watching people, they worked on this, right? In the heat of the summer, still did it anyway.
Hampton going to try to punch it in.
And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Second down, goal to go. Up the middle, it's Hampton.
And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. So they were stuffed on 1st down, stuffed again on 2nd.
And normally you throw the ball on 2nd down on play action. So here on 3rd down, I'm going to my team and saying, let's line up and let's go out and get it. I get my best running play called, and I go after him one more time.
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow.
Wow.
Dicker for the extra point.
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And the lead is up to 5.
35. Dolphins 30.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
At their own 32-yard line.
This is 1st and 10.
Ready. Corner, long. Ready, team. Solo left Zion. 21G. Hey, 21 TA.
Here's Tua. Now a run, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Here's 2nd down.
Loss brings up 2nd and 20 at the 22-yard line.
20 TX.
Throwing Tua. Under pressure, and they got to him again.